Oh, give the Oilers 6 wins in their last 9 games. Hello, everybody. Welcome to the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Tom Gazzola and Hernan Salas with you to help break it all down. Matt Kassian will be joining us shortly, our game analyst, as Edmonton wraps up this road trip with a 3-1 record. Pretty good, pretty good. Share your thoughts, 780-218-9999, and get into the nasty chat if you're watching on YouTube. Like, share, and subscribe. Of course, the post-game show brought to you by GCL Diesel, providers of the best diesel engine components around. From turbochargers to injectors, fuel pumps to sensors, they are the critical engine component experts, proud to serve Edmonton and Northern Alberta for over 50 years. And we're going to start this one by getting into the scoring summary and the game stats, and then we'll get to Hernan, we'll get to Cass when he joins us, and of course, to your texts, and let us know your thoughts on what you made of the way the Oilers put together that 4-2 victory over the Flames tonight down at the Saddle Dome. In the first period, first shift of the game, it was 37 seconds in Nashville the other night. Tonight, the Oilers go and get the first one even quicker. 20 seconds in, first shot of the game, Leon Draisaitl, he buries his 9th of the year from Podkolzin. Really nice pass by Podkolzin. Good forecheck by that line, starting the game right for the Oil. 1-0 Edmonton. Then at 8:12, Jeff Skinner, great second effort by Skinner. He kind of tucked it he made the move on Vladar. Puck was just sitting there on the goal line, and he tucked it from behind the net for his 3rd of the season. Hyman, the secondary assist. I said on the pregame show, I'd like to see that line score a goal, and they did, which is great. At 8:12, Edmonton leads 2-0. To the middle frame we go. It would be Calgary chipping away at that Oilers 2-goal lead. Anthony Mantha on the power play, the redirection past Stu Skinner. They were looking, was it high stick? Mantha's like 6'6", I think he's one of the really big guys in the National Hockey League. It was a good goal. Mantha's got 4. Bury his first point as an Oiler, as a Flame. I laugh because I said to Hernan in the first period when Johnny Abbott was making the comment that Tyson Barrie was looking for his first point as a Flame, I'm like, hey, he's going to get that tonight. Hernan, he got it on the first goal for the Flames. Called it. What a surprise.
Yeah, you sure did.
I mean, that's the easiest prop bet in the world. Guy needs a first point in the NHL, first point against the Oilers, first point with this new team. If they're playing against the Oilers,
it's money.
Put money on it, yeah. A little sprinkle goes a long way. Backlund, the second assist. That goal coming at 4:33. Look at you. You fixed the camera.
Well, I didn't. Maddie did.
I know Wanek did. 2-1 Oilers going into the third. In the third period, the seeing eye shot, if you will. Yegor Sharangovich has his first from Kevin Ball to make it 2-2. I think it was Mantha in front of Stu Skinner. Skinner did not see it. That goal coming at 4:28. However, the Oilers would respond on the power play. Special teams, something Cass was talking about on Game Changers earlier in the day. On the pregame show, Hyman, a really nice move. 2 goals in 2 games for him. Power play scoring off the rush, but it is a power play goal nonetheless. They'll take it. Nugent Hopkins, a nice assist. Draisaitl, the secondary helper. Draisaitl, 6 assists on the season. Nugent Hopkins has 4 on Hyman's second goal at 10:10 of the third period. And then Mattias Janmark when things were 5-on-5 because the Oilers were on a power play, but the Flames pulled the goalie. And Mattias Janmark puts it into the empty net. Draisaitl, another assist. Nurse, the secondary helper. That might have been right when the Oilers' power play had actually expired. And give Leon Draisaitl 6 points in his last 2 games. Pretty darn good. That goal coming at 19:57 to put the game on ice. Frantic moments at the end of the game. Stu Skinner, I thought, was rock solid for the Oilers in this one. A good bounce back after that loss on Monday in Columbus, and the Oilers wrap up this 4-game road trip with 3 wins, Hernan, and I think you put it out there on the question of the night. Going into that Columbus game, or no, after, was it the Detroit game maybe? How many wins would they get on this trip? I voted 3 on the poll on
you did.
Twitter. I did.
I think I said 2.
2 would have been all right. 3, even better. What do you think of the game tonight?
Good first period. I mean, it was kind of very similar to what we saw in Nashville. First shift, boom, boom, boom. Even faster, Tom.
Even faster.
But the Nashville was 37 minutes. And then this one, 37 seconds, sorry. This one was 20 seconds in. Another good board battle won by put goals in there. And he's able to, get the ball rolling there. They find Draisaitl. Boom, it's in the back of the net. I thought at the end of the first, Calgary's third and fourth line kind of changed momentum there a bit. I thought it was telling going into the second period. Second period, I thought Calgary was the better team. They found the power play goal, which was borderline high stick, Tom. I
don't disagree, but I mean,
I gotta look.
No challenge.
Yeah,
Matta, like I said, he's one of the taller guys in the National Hockey League.
Yeah,
good hand-eye, but.
Yeah, so for me, that one was kind of borderline. It is what it is.
Mm-hmm.
They didn't challenge it, but they did look at it, and then they're able to find, Sharon Govich just puts it on net.
Mantha in front.
Mantha in front again, who's the second star, as you can see there.
I texted Joaquin. I was like, Stu just whiff on that? And he goes, I didn't see it.
Yeah, but then the power play, and I was getting a little frustrated because you get power plays to end the second, to go into the third, and then Ekholm was the guy in the box, so you couldn't go to him. But you have so much talent on this team, and you still throw out the 2 defensemen. I didn't like it. Listen, it worked out with Ekholm and Bouchard, obviously, but for me, if you have Arvidsson, Skinner, I still want to see the 4 forwards and 1 defenseman. They got the goal, so I'm not going to complain too much, but at the end of the day, you sure miss McDavid there. But good for them. A big power play goal. The PK still leaked one. 1 for 3, Tom, tonight for the PK.
Yeah.
So
I think the PK got slightly better tonight. The percentage will rise ever so.
Skinner
slightly.
solid. Skinner was solid.
Yes, he was.
And I'm not going to take any Skinner heat because I thought he was really good. I thought the first line was really good again. I'm wanting more from that Henrique line, though. They've been kind of quiet here lately. Now, they're not here to score a ton of goals. They're not going to lead the offensive charge. I understand that. But
it would be nice if they got 1 or 2 here.
But
there.
you need more. Connor Brown, Henrique, and Janmark. I know Janmark scored there towards in the empty netter there. But you need more from that group. Kajula, good opportunity. Philp, a lot quieter. I thought Perry was quiet tonight. I really did. And listen, I know they won, but Bouchard a couple of times. And it's a broken record. We know how he plays, but Kadri walked him on one, and the effort to get back was just whatever. At least Stewie Skins was there to bail him out. But all in all, if you're an Oilers fan, you got to be happy, Tom. They go into Calgary, they win the game, they're right back at it tomorrow against a very good New Jersey team. But hey, they've banked 4 points in the last 2 games. They've played, let's say, in the last 6 periods, I think they've played 5 pretty good periods outside of maybe that second there. In Calgary, you knew they were going to bring it. They weren't going to go away quietly. So for me, big 2 thumbs up. A lot of solid contributors on the night. You want more from some other guys? Sure. Hopefully they can step up tomorrow because Draisaitl's been leading the charge here, Tom.
Absolutely. He has, again, 6 points in his last 2 games. The Oilers grease out another victory on the road, make it 3-1 on this road trip. Wins in Detroit, Nashville, and Calgary. And the Oilers 6-2-1 in their last 9 games. Far cry from the 0-3 start, which is good. Hasn't been pretty, but they have the results. So shots on goal in this one, 31 apiece. Officially, it was 31-30 favor of the Oilers. The NHL changed it a minute ago. I saw the screen refresh. The Oilers lose the face-off battle, 53.2% for the Flames to Edmonton's 46.8, and Calgary goes 1 for 2 on the power play, so PK 1 for 2, so it actually goes down. I was wrong. I was looking at the Oilers power play, which goes 1 for 3, 33%, and then hits 19-13 in favor of Edmonton. Block shots 25-15 in favor of Edmonton. Giveaways for Calgary, 23 to Edmonton's 10. Takeaways officially 4 for the Flames, 2 for the Oilers. I did like Edmonton's crispness with the puck, especially in the first period. Seemed like they were breaking it out a little bit better. You heard Pat Steinberg earlier saying that watch out for the forecheck of the Flames. Cass talked about it a little bit as well, and we saw that, especially in the second period, gave the Oilers some fits, but in the first period, they're moving the puck out well, good control, and then I think they cleaned it up a bit in the third and ultimately get the win thanks to Hyman's backhand power play goal. Edmonton with an empty netter as well in the third period and give them the 4-2 victory. Let's get to some text as we get Cass in here. He's ready to go.
Cass is ready to go.
Awesome. I'm going to read a couple and then get to Cass. Yeah, go ahead.
I just want to say good point on the way that, because in the first period, a few times we were kind of sitting there watching the game and we both looked at each other and said, man, that's some clean passes out of the zone. It was boom, 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 and they were out attacking, right, Tom? So
we
good
weren't
on them.
We were just like, that was nice.
No, yeah, we weren't cheering or anything.
Nice passes. It was a breath of fresh air, if you will.
Yes.
So good stuff there from the Oilers with their breakouts. In the second period, not as good, but kudos to Calgary for pouring it on a little bit. All right, let's get Cass in here. I'm going to read off a couple of texts before we get Cass's thoughts off the top. 780-218-9999. Get into the nasty chat as well. If you're watching on YouTube, like, share, subscribe. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, Apple Music, and the EdmontonSportsTalk.com audio player, fire us a text and let us know how you feel about Edmonton's road trip and the win tonight as they bring it home to take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow. This one from Mikey. Mikey says, hey, great show. Thanks, Mikey. I wish Hernan could play Biggie Smalls intro. Serious question. When Draisaitl signed his extension, does it include a no-trade clause? Also, would McDavid re-sign with a no-trade for 8 more years? Mikey, I believe yes and yes. To short answer. I am not looking at Puckpedia right now, but yes, and we don't have music rights. We're not paying. I think it's like $7,000 a year for those.
Yeah.
Scalding Gord says, I want 4 forwards on the power play simply because they are short on D, so I'd rather keep Ekholm for other situations. Jeffy says, it wasn't borderline. It was a good 4 to 6 above the crossbar. Then why didn't they challenge? Anyway, I hear you, Jeffy. It looked at first like it was a high stick on Mantha's goal, but they did not challenge it, so they must have seen something that changed their opinion or prevented them from wanting to even try. All right, Cass is ready to go. Hello, Cass. The Oilers win 4-2 over the Flames. Your impressions of the victory?
Yeah, well, I think it ends up being a good win. You have a great start again. That goal in the first shift early on, your big dogs getting the job done, setting the tone early. And I agree. Like, first period was really clean. One of the cleaner periods for zone exits that we've seen, as you guys said, they were crisp, which was really nice to see, especially knowing that Calgary does forecheck. Now, we saw Calgary in the second push back. They had some success with the forecheck. Oilers penalty kill lets them down again. Once again, even worse than the percentage tonight. But your power play, at least your power play gets a huge goal for you, and you're able to hold on in the third. So overall, a solid game against the Calgary team that works really hard. It wasn't like it was a pretty win. It wasn't a dominant win, but a solid win. Good job battening down the hatches towards the end. Stuart Skinner and the guys in front of the net battling with that scramble right at the end. I thought it had a chance to bounce in. Skinner does a good job of getting his legs over top of it. And then Janmark able to seal the deal. So overall, guys, I thought a solid effort tonight. Solid, stable team effort tonight.
Cass, I got to ask you about the Mantha goal. There's I think they showed 5 shots. 2 of them, it looked like a high stick. The other 2 looked like it was good. And then the fifth one was kind of like, you were like, I don't even know what I'm looking at here. What did you make of that play? Because I do think it was smart not to challenge because I don't think there was enough evidence there for them to overturn it. But what did you make of that Mantha's first goal?
Yeah, well, you nailed it. I don't think there was enough evidence to overturn it, and that's why they didn't challenge. I think it was just the one angle that really looked like it was above, but it was from a lower vantage point, and so it's tough to tell. And with some of the other angles, they're like, well, it could be, it may not be, and if those are the same angles that the Situation Room is going to be looking at it from, there may not be enough to overturn. So at the end of the day. It was close. You could have challenged. I don't think there was an absolute need to. Ends up being the right decision. You win the hockey game. But it was tight, guys. It was one of those tweeners on that. And for me, if it's a tweener and you really don't know, don't need to challenge, and they didn't.
Yeah, bad challenge leads to a power play for the other team. And the Oilers don't go that route, end up winning the game. Anyway, Cass, you brought it up about the special teams. We jest, but the PK leaks one again. The power play gets one. Let's start with the positive. The power play goal, it comes off a rush. A little play by, I think it was Ekholm. He didn't go back and regroup. Kelly talked about it on the broadcast, but he makes a quick little pass to Draisaitl. Draisaitl finds Nugent Hopkins. Nugent Hopkins down to Hyman. And Hyman, good heads up to let that puck through his legs at the blue line so that Nugent Hopkins could pick it up and skate in on the forehand. The power play as a whole, Cass, what would you say about tonight? And then getting that goal, what it could do maybe for the confidence if you want to look at it positively.
Yeah, well, at the end of the day, you got the job done, and you have two guys that have been a little colder to start the year that majorly factor into it, and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins and Zach Hyman, who made a beautiful finish. I mean, that's tough to do. Yes, Vladar's stick was in the way. He gets it over top and gets it upstairs in a hurry. Like, great play to his backhand. Now, we saw earlier this year, he got stuffed on a similar play. I think it was against Pittsburgh. Game was already really over at that point, but where he wasn't able to elevate, couldn't score on a similar, play to his backhand, but he is able to get it here. So it was a good job, I think, by Edmonton of not saying, okay, we're going to sit back and regroup and be aggressive, to say it's a little scrambly. We have possession, we have control, but we don't have to back all the way up. Let's attack. So from a power play standpoint, to say, they had aggression on their mind and that they wanted to go, they wanted to attack, they wanted to create an opportunity, and end up with a great play, great read by Hyman, great play by Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to find him, and a good recognition by Draisaitl that you're onside and you have bodies in the middle of the ice to basically make an area play to say, hey, we have two guys here. Someone might be able to pick it up, and they do. So, particularly for Hyman to get a power play goal for him, another goal, start that momentum train rolling, and for Ryan Nugent-Hopkins to factor in as well. I think it just bodes well, both for the players and their 5-on-5 play, but also for the power play moving forward.
Cass, that play will be the Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy play of the game and turning point of the game. At Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy, they treat you like the pros. Their multidisciplinary team includes sports medicine physicians, along with highly skilled physiotherapists, strength and conditioning coaches, and massage therapists. Whether you're recovering from an injury or looking to enhance performance, we treat you like a pro using the same locker room approach, trusted by the best in the game. And one of those goals by Hyman was from one of the best scorers in the game, at least last year, and starting to regain that form. That was a beautiful move, like you alluded to. So that will be your Advantage Sports Medicine and Physiotherapy turning point of the game. Get those texts in, 780-218-9999. Cass, we talked about the good of the special teams, and that was the Zach Hyman goal. And the bad of the special teams, they still allow one, regardless of it was a high stick, not challenged, Anthony Mantha making a great play, whatever. They still allow a PK goal, and they still continue to struggle. When is this thing going to turn around? Is it ever going to get fixed, or is this going to be a major problem going forward for the foreseeable future?
Well, it's been a problem through the first chunk of the season. So until they figure it out, it's going to continue to be a problem, unless your power play gets so hot that it kind of negates it. Even again, like on that play, I didn't love the low pressure from Janmark, where he's like 5 or 6 feet below the dot, trying to keep the puck down to the corner. To me, it's like, well, what are you defending there? Puck in the corner is not the dangerous play. You can take a little bit of a higher route, and you can see where he starts. Like if he stops on the dot there, the pass probably isn't as clean up, and then Ryan Nugent-Hopkins doesn't have to go into the middle to try to push. Now he may still on that, but secondary to that, you can go to the defenseman on that. Now maybe it's being a little nitpicky because it was so close to a high stick to say, well, you should tie up, but you would like them to try to front that a little bit. Now, in Darnell Nurse's defense, it's a high puck. You're not wanting to get hit in the face. You're probably not going to block it with your face, and it's think it's going over the net. So, I don't think we can completely pick it apart, but at the end of the day, the penalty kill has to find ways to kill it. And they were close on that one. It's at the end of a kill, maybe a little bit lax towards the end, but guys, you can't keep bleeding goals on your penalty kill where it's like an automatic every single night you're giving up one. You can't. You have to find ways to shut teams down with it. They don't find a way again. What's it going to take for it to get better? I mean, from a forward standpoint, they have to run around a little bit less. And from a D standpoint, do a better job of taking away sticks and really just kill better as a foursome unit. They still at times get a little disjointed. That's been a word that we've used a couple of times, guys. Right. And Yeah, I mean, fortunately tonight you give up one, but your power play got the big one that wins you the hockey game. So ultimately, you win the special teams battle. But guys, you got to stop bleeding these goals.
And Cass, coming into this game, Calgary was 0 for 18 in their last 6 games. You just knew they were going to get one. I just want to get to this. Reed Wilkins says, there is no coach's challenge on a high stick. Coach can only challenge offside and goalie interference. The league.
Okay, I thought they could challenge a high stick.
Yeah, so did I. But Reed's got the rules down here. Cass, if I can ask you about one player who's kind of turning some heads here. He's not really bringing a lot of the numbers, but he's creating plays and he's winning, with the board battles. He's making his time count with Leon Draisaitl, which is Vasily Podkolzin. In Nashville on the first shift, he turned the puck over, set up the goal. Tonight, he did the same thing. What are you seeing from this guy? Because I think we can all agree that he might not have he's not going to be an elite scorer. He's not going to have that touch, but he gets around well and he does things that guys like Draisaitl and Arvidsson need, right, Cass?
Yep, they do. And you know what he did a good job of tonight and what he has done a good job of is forechecking, getting the puck in, getting him in the forecheck and working as a unit to turn those pucks over. I mean, if you look at his positioning in that and picking that puck up off the wall, having the recognition to move the puck to Draisaitl immediately. He knew where he was going with that. He knew where the play was. He kept everything in front of him, makes a really, really good read to cut that play off. And also, kudos to Arvidsson on that to force that play. He does a good job going inside out. So playing from, inside of the net, forcing the play up to the wall where he knows he has help. And Podkolzin makes a great play. And he was a game changer on it before. He had, I think, a solid game the other night with his first game with this line and makes a great play early here. So, for him, if he can continue to turn pucks over, if he can continue to positionally put himself in places where he forces other teams to give them the puck and then make quick plays, I mean, he's going to have some success. He's going to get some points and he's going to be valuable. But I think the biggest thing for him is it's not like he's out there running guys over physically, but he's putting himself physically in position to either finish hits, to turn pucks over, and using his size and his skating ability to create some offense. So another solid game from him.
Very nice pass over to Leon Draisaitl 20 seconds in to get the Oilers on the board in this 4-2 victory over the Calgary Flames. Tom Gazzola, Matt Kassian, Hernan, the Latino Heat, Salas with you as Edmonton returns home to take on the New Jersey Devils tomorrow night, and then they take on the Vegas Golden Knights on Wednesday, and then they're off to Vancouver next Saturday. Tomorrow and Wednesday, 6:30 starts locally. We're on the air 5:30 for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show. And if you're like, what channel is it on? It's on Amazon Prime, boys. Tomorrow is the first Oilers Amazon Prime game. So you're going to have to borrow someone's Prime account if you don't have one. And this is something new to the National Hockey League. And we're lucky here in Canada because the NFL's done this the second year or third year with Prime for Thursday Night Football. But they still broadcast it nationally on TSN here in Edmonton. So this is going to be a little bit of a adapting situation where we're going to see Oil Country probably complain a little bit, but that's how things are going. It's all
get used to it.
Station.
Get used to it. I mean, You're seeing that with the TV rights in the States. It's going to happen more and more frequently here in Canada. I think it was last year, and that's Major League Baseball, and obviously there's a lot more games, but I think it's like you needed like 4 different subscriptions to watch all the Yankees games or something like that. It was a lot of them. So yeah, it's not surprising.
Tommy's going to lend out his password for Amazon Prime.
For everybody, like Halloween candy. Just take it.
Yep. It's just so everyone has it. It's T Gazzola at EdmontonSportsTalk.com, and the password is short shorts with a capital S, both S's capitalized. 1, 2, 3 exclamation point.
Hey!
I have a question for both of you, and it's come from one of our texters. He says, "Can someone please explain why when Mattias Ekholm got high sticked, he wasn't allowed to come out for the ensuing face-off because?" According to the ref, he had blood. Okay. And he had to get it cleaned up.
Well, okay.
So then how is it not a double minor?
I'll start with this. They must have ruled, even though there was no blood, because if there was blood, there should have been a 4-minute penalty. Okay? So let's establish that. But I think that they deemed, the refs did, my take on this, Cass, come in if you need to. They deemed that Ekholm was injured, and therefore he had to go off.
Had to leave.
And then you saw Nurse go on, take the face off. Nurse immediately went and switched off for Ekholm. And
I think that's the only thing that it could be, which is kind of dumb because it's like it wasn't like a concussion. Like if there's concussion symptoms, then you have to go for the 10 minutes in the evaluation, where you have to go off. But barring that, it's not like he was laying on the ice and needed trainers to skate him off, right? Like,
well, he was mad.
Yeah, it was. I don't understand it. That was a weird ruling by the referees.
Refs flexing, perhaps on Mattias Ekholm, Edmonton's Viking. Dirty Curdy texting and says that was far more stressful than it should have been. The power play finally comes through, and a quality start equals a win. Skinner's goal showed sick mitts. What'd you make of line 2? I guess I would call it. I mean, I think Draisaitl is the de facto number 1 center, obviously. And, Podkolzin and Arvidsson, that's line 1, in my opinion. But the Nugent-Hopkins, Hyman, Skinner line gets one, and that was something that I was kind of talking about on the pregame show. Did they move the needle a little bit more for you guys? Because I noticed them in a good way a little bit more tonight, and I think that's encouraging. And add to the fact that they get the goal. Cass, what would you say?
Yeah, well, they get the goal, and credit where credit is due here. Darnell Nurse and Ryan Nugent-Hopkins do a great job in the defensive zone to turn that puck over. Darnell Nurse, good job of angling where he's backing in, steps in, good stick to force the puck up the wall. Ryan Nugent-Hopkins right in there to help to force that turnover. And then, good passing play by Skinner. Hyman gets the puck around, and pretty amazing hands in tight by Skinner. So that was good. I mean, it was good sign to see, 5-on-5, that line, get some offense, put the puck in the net. That's what you need them to do. That's a line, the third line, fourth line, you want them to chip in on occasion, but generally it's like even or better. If those lines are even or better, and I know the fourth got scored on tonight, but even or better, you're generally pretty happy with that. You want that second line to score some goals, and you want them to create some offense. So some good things in that they were able to do that. I don't know how threatening they were the rest of the game, but at the least they did find a way to put the puck in the back of the net, which is a big goal, and part of that solid first period that set the Oilers up to win the hockey game.
780-218-9999. Edmonton walks away from Calgary with a 4-2 victory, goes 3-1 on a 4-game road trip, comes home for 2 straight. Starting tomorrow night, Amazon Prime game against the New Jersey Devils, and then Wednesday against the Pacific Division leading Vegas Golden Knights. That will be 2 good tests. Jersey coming off a loss to these very same Flames, and Vancouver kind of wishy-washy so far this season. All right, a couple of texts here. I like this one from Penner's Pancakes. Makes a good point. I think that deserves some credit. Oil Country definitely does, because it does show up in Calgary at the Saddle Dome. Penner's Pancake says, very vocal Oilers support there tonight. You could hear them. And covering so many Oilers Flames games at the Saddle Dome, Oilers fans travel very well, regardless of the city. But in Calgary in particular, they don't mind a quick jaunt down Highway 2. And they were there in droves. Good to see. And they get rewarded with a victory.
First time this year, they're over 500, boys.
There you go.
Only took till November 3rd, guys.
Yep.
Well, they were 2-8-1 at this point last year. 2-9-1. I think I was going into the rant just about now after that.
You're getting there.
Yeah, 6-2-1 in their last 9. The way they've done it, I don't think has instilled a ton of confidence, but it's better, and they get 4 goals tonight, 1 into an empty net. Stu Skinner, guys. Stu Skinner tonight, 29 saves, allows 2. The Mantha tip-in, we talked about that, and then the seeing eye shot from Sharangovich. I thought he was rock solid. Where do you guys see his game at right now? Nanso, start with you.
Yeah, a good bounce back from his last outing in Columbus. He made a couple of big saves, one on, I think 2 on Coleman. Coleman went in all alone, and then he was steady there towards the end as well. Good on the PK. And what I liked about him, he was fighting. He was fighting for his space. I know that the second goal, where he's...
Sharangovich one,
Yeah. Like Mantha's there with 2 Oiler defensemen. He's trying to look around, and by the time he kind of realized what's going on, it's a little bit too late. But I wouldn't put either goal on him tonight. I think Stuart Skinner bounced back like he usually does after poor outings. And tomorrow it's probably going to be Calvin Pickard, but then he gets the Vegas game, which is another big one. So you want to see Stu, just like the team, start putting some good performances together here for 3-4 games. Hell, 5, why not, right? So Stuart Skinner, and I'm looking at the 3 stars. Calgary probably picked them, but I would have had
it's in Calgary.
I would have had Skinner in there instead of Sharangovich. I'll just say that. But I thought Skinner was the second best player behind Leon Draisaitl tonight.
Cass, what say you?
Yeah, I think that's a fair evaluation. Just a solid game from him. The seeing eye shot, tough to see. The tip, we've talked about that one already. Was it a high stick? Was it not? Really hard for goalies when it changes direction that violently to make a save where you think it's going over and then all of a sudden it changes direction like that right in front of you. Not too much you can do as a goaltender, but I agree with you. I mean, the Coleman saves in particular, I think were huge. At a pretty critical time in the game where he made the big saves at the big time and allowed his team to, eventually go on the power play and win the hockey game. So, solid outing from Skinner. Now, you're right as well, Nanso. He's got to string them together now, right? As the whole team does, where it's like, okay, he's had a couple really good performances. Now it's time to start stringing those performances together. Now we won't see him. It'll be Pickard tomorrow. Mm-hmm. But the goaltending duo as a whole, if they start stringing together these games here and the team can continue to push, hopefully by the time we hit, which isn't that far away, that New Year's Thanksgiving in the States, they'll be in a slightly better position. But guys, they also move up the standings tonight. They move up the standings tonight. That's important.
They're in a wild card spot, 12 games into the year, but that's much better than the bottom of the standings where they were sitting for the first few weeks. Taco says, hey, boys, props to Skinner tonight. He made some big saves at crucial moments. Justin texting in, no expletives tonight from Justin. All right. Ooh. Justin says, nice win. Great first shift. All good. And Rip City Step says, Tomothy, after that game, is Dry now the Hart favorite, or do we have to wait a few more games? Draisaitl now up to 16 points on the year, 9 goals, 7 assists. I'm just going to see where he's at in terms of the stats. What would you guys say? I mean, it's so early. Reinhart leading the way at 21. So Draisaitl's got some catching up to do.
He's leading, man. He knows the captain's down and he's taking over here. It's great to see. And I mean, I don't think any of us were doubting that he would, right? Like we've seen him without McDavid before and he's always stepped up. So for me, it's not a big surprise. Great to see him taking charge. But like we said, Tom and Cass, there's going to be a game where they're going to need someone else to step up, right?
Yep.
And, hopefully it's a second or the third line guys can chip in with a goal here and there and, not give them a night off, but, not always depend on that line to get you going.
I'm liking Zach Hyman's game. It feels like it's coming along. Cass, anything to add? We're going to go inside the locker room right away here if you want to stick around for a couple of minutes.
Yeah.
You want to add anything there?
Yeah, well, I think for me, if we're looking at early Hart favorites, from the Oilers standpoint, he would be your candidate. I think Kaprizov right now is the not runaway favorite, but the early favorite. If you look at who he's playing with, share of points and goals in the team, he probably would be my number one vote. But for Draisaitl, he's stepped up huge the last couple of games with McDavid being out, which you guys said, not that surprising. He's one of the best players in the world, so he's done a great job of it. But you do need that third line in particular. We'll say they're going to be a game here where they have to find a way to be the difference.
Kaprizov, you know what they say. Once a wild, always a wild, I guess.
That team's
21
right
points in the team that doesn't, he does it himself. He's amazing. He
is amazing.
Like we do on Two Guys and a Goalie, like before the season, like our rankings of the players and who we want on our team, and I always have him higher than the other guys. But Gager and Dusty they're jerks. So
you've got that wild tattoo over your heart. We know it. I'm just kidding.
Hey, Cass,
no, it's not over my heart. It's my lower back.
And they and they beat the Maple Leafs tonight.
Yeah, great. Yeah. Even better.
Okay, let's go inside. Cass, you good to stick around, just hear what the players have to say? Okay. Where are we going to go first, Answer?
Ekholm or Hyman, you choose.
Hyman.
Perfect.
Okay.
Here's Zach Hyman following his team's 4-2 win over the Calgary Flames.
That it took from your team tonight, of course, fending off a Flames team that was pushing there.
Yeah, I think first and foremost, Stu played great. I think he gave us a chance to win, made some huge saves, key saves at the right times. So that was first and foremost, and I thought it was an overall good team effort, whether periods of the game when they had their pushes and be able to both win.
Goals in back-to-back games, so you gotta take us through how it feels to contribute in a big way, especially in this one.
I mean, I think I've proven I can score in the league. So, just goals in back-to-back. I don't know. It just obviously wasn't. I was getting a lot of chances the first 10 games, just didn't fall for me. Nice to score a big one tonight, and a crucial moment of the game to help us win.
How do you describe the effort from Leon Draisaitl? Another 3-point night, obviously with Connor out. Everyone has to step up, but he's also proven why he's one of the best.
Oh yeah. I mean, he's playing unbelievable. I think his whole line's playing great, and he's really driving the bus right now for our team and in all areas of the game. So he's been phenomenal.
Zach, on your goal, what's the instinct or what's running through your mind when that puck hits your stick before you make your move?
I took a peek just to see how far away I was from him. I think Nugent made a great play. I thought that if it got to me, I'd be in, and I like to go to the backhand there. So got to the backhand and then get it up. You got to get a chance of scoring.
Just overall, what are the vibes of the mood of your team right now with how things have been going of late?
Good, yeah. I think obviously whenever you lose the best player in the world, your team takes a hit. But I think that collectively as a group, we've all kind of gotten a little bit better, which has helped. Winning the last few games is great, and we got a big one tomorrow.
There's Zach Hyman, a goal and an assist tonight, doubling his totals in both categories. He's now 4 points through 12 games. The season slow start for him, snake bit certainly, but goals in 2 straight games, multi-point night for him. And Edmonton now 2-0 without Connor McDavid in the lineup. Cass, anything stand out to you there from what Zach Hyman had to say?
Yeah, well, I think just a little bit about his mentality, which is what it should have been, and that he's had chances all year long. I think the verbiage that he used is, the chances just didn't fall for him, and they didn't. He had a lot of chances. Puck wasn't going in. Knew that at some point, and I'm sure he did as well, that it would start to fall and the puck would start to go in. It has, and again today, it was great that it came at an opportune time to put them up a goal and to ultimately be the game winner.
All right. We do have one more interview to get to. Who do we have, Hernan?
We have Mattias Ekholm, who's really good tonight. Here he is following the Oilers 4-2 win over the Flames.
We get a chance when it's 6-7 minutes left or whatever it was. You got to take those chances and get points. That's what good teams do.
Are there things, this might sound like a dumb question, but I specialize in those. Are there things about not having McDavid playing that can make your team better?
Better, I don't think. I think he makes our team way better, but I see where you're coming from and I see what you're saying, and I think that there has been collectively an effort from guys to step up in his absence, and very nice to see Arby's getting goals, Heisy's getting goals, CF Skinner's getting goals, so obviously Leon's leading the way, so guys have been stepping up, and obviously when you lose the best player in the world, you're going to have the collective, especially the forward group, step up, and I think as the defenseman also has, and the goaltending department has done their job. So I think it's a collective effort to kind of fill that void, and I think, to your point, I think it creates opportunities for guys to maybe play a little bit more and to get maybe a little bit more confidence, mojo, and whatnot. So hopefully when the time comes and he's back in the lineup, these guys are full throttle ahead, and we don't look back.
Leon steps in and has become an offensive leader in McDavid's absence. 2 3-point nights in a row, and really, really good.
Amazing, yeah. I mean, it's sometimes I think he gets overlooked, obviously when Connor does his things, but I think there's nights when he should be getting maybe bigger highlights and bigger spotlights than he actually does when Connor's in and he does his thing. But yeah, it's very nice to see that. That's what the best do, I think. They bring out the best in themselves when it's needed the most for our group and for our team, and he's certainly done that.
Mattias Ekholm certainly did that as well. +3 for him tonight. No points, 2 penalty minutes, 24:40 time on ice with 1 shot, 3 blocks, and a takeaway. Ekholm, talking about the big boys doing the heavy lifting. Him, Bouchard leading the way when it came to minutes played tonight, 24:46 for Bouchard. Like I mentioned with Ekholm, 24:40. Nurse, 23:21, +1 for Darnell with 1 assist. And then Brett Kulak, -1, but 20:51 time on ice. And had a really good back check, saved the goal after a blunder at the blue line. Dermott and Emberson, around 13 minutes. Dermott, 12:37. He was the least used defenseman tonight. Emberson, 13:12. Really quickly, Cass, on the D-men, leaning on those 4 guys. I don't think it's a surprise, but are we seeing growth and improvement from the Stetchers, Dermotts, and Embersons of the world? And tonight it was Dermott and Emberson who were in and not Stetcher.
Yeah, I think what you're seeing is collectively a whole, not just those guys, but even the forwards in terms of helping them out and not making as many mistakes defensively that helps them, right? Because yes, we can point numerous times during the year where the defensemen haven't been good enough. In some of those situations, the forwards were just zero to no help. They didn't help the situation at all. And so, if we go to the Ekholm interview talking about doing it collectively and doing it as a group, in the Hyman interview as well, that's what they've done better is, you're not going to have, it's not necessarily ideal, the pairings all the time, but if you can play well enough as a unit that you can support those guys and enable them just to do the little things well and to not have too much pressure and to give them options and to give them outs and to communicate well and give them the ability option to execute well, then it just makes everybody look better. And so, it's not surprising from a minute standpoint that Bouchard and Ekholm get a lion's share of the minutes, and then Nurse and Kulak as well. And I thought those 4 they played well tonight. As I said, I thought Darnell Nurse, one of his better games, probably understated in terms of position play and turning pucks over and forcing pucks to the outside. So as a whole, I think the defensive unit they've improved dramatically from the start of the year. That's why they're starting to win. That's why they've won a bunch of the last couple. I think is it 6-2 in their last 8?
Yeah, 6-2-1 in the last 9.
6-2-1 in the last 9. So it's they have started to turn the corner with that, which is a solid thing. Still think long term you're going to have to find some help on that right side. But if Kulak ends up being the answer there, he is a guy that we have seen have success in the league, that's been around, and he can play. We've seen that. We've seen that in the playoffs where at times he was the Oilers' best defenseman the last 2 seasons. Group as a whole has played better. You don't want to have to rely on that third pairing too much, but as the season goes on, you're going to need them to play too and to eat up some of those minutes. So, they have improved, absolutely. And I think a big part of that is just the team as a whole improving.
Cass, quick thought on tomorrow night against the Devils coming home. It's a bit odd where they had a 4-game road trip. They go out east and they come home. They had the plane issues on Thursday night. They had to stay an extra day in Nashville unexpectedly. And then they get home Friday. They practice yesterday, fly out to Calgary, get the win. Now they have to come home, prep for it. It's a bit of a weird schedule. How do they go about handling it and try to get a win against a Devils team that's been pretty good this year?
Yeah, they've been pretty good, and they're coming off of that 3-0 loss to Calgary, and they've been sitting and waiting for Edmonton to come back. Look, guys, it's not like you're not flying across the country here, coming home tonight. You're still going to be in your bed at a decent hour.
They're probably
but just like anytime you're playing back-to-backs, it's about simplifying your game. And you're going to have a New Jersey team that has some offensive punch. They have some high-skilled players. You're going to have to be really good on your forecheck. You're going to have to be really good at denying opportunities off the rush to Hughes and some of the other players that can burn you in that situation. So, yeah, a little bit of a weird schedule, but every team has chunks of the year where it's a little weird. And the reality is they haven't had too many back-to-back games yet. So, hey, you got to find a way to get it done against a team that's going to be rested. You have to have a by-committee game all over again. So that third line, like we talked about, becomes that much more important.
Let's see if the third line shows up tomorrow. Cass, get your rest. Great work tonight, and we'll catch up with you on the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show tomorrow.
Sounds good, boys.
That is Matt Kassian, bringing it, as always, our game analyst here on the GCL Diesel postgame show. The Oilers 4-2 winners over the Calgary Flames, even up the Battle of Alberta this year. The Flames and Oilers don't lock horns again until March 29th here in Edmonton. Only 3 Oilers-Flames games this season. Weird quirk as part of the NHL schedule. It sucks. Wish it wasn't the case, but we'll have to live with it this year.
I was just listening to you guys talk.
Thank you.
Such great insight.
Yes. Cass is great.
I'm just like, man, how much better would this team be if they had a guy to play with Nurse? And no disrespect to the guys that are there now. They're doing an okay job.
I think patching it together, right?
I think that's fair to say they're doing an okay job. But, man, if you can just find a bona fide, like, I'm not even saying an Ekholm type. Like, even if it's a few notches down from Ekholm, but a guy that is used to playing top 4 minutes, can kill penalties, can kind of stay at home and let Darnell roam around and do his thing, right? Like, it's just, it's there, and they got to find it. That's what GMs get paid for. And I'm realistic. I don't think it's going to happen anytime soon, but by the deadline, you have to add that piece, Tom.
That is the goal. That is that is the type of player that they will try to land at some point this season, likely closer to the trade deadline. We had Dave Pagnotta on Hello Hockey yesterday, and he said outside of due diligence, there's nothing cooking right now. So if you're hoping for something soon, don't expect it. That's from NHL insider David Pagnotta. They're making it work right now, which is the good thing. I understand the desire for that. The sooner, the better. The fans want that. Better defensive play, more sound, more confidence. I'm on board with I get it. But right now, it doesn't sound like that's going to happen anytime soon. And 6-2-1 in the last 9, I think Oilers fans would be like, yeah, that's actually good. And when I was looking at the stats, I was like, geez, that's more like it.
And yeah, like 3 out of 4 on this road trip. The one ugly game in Columbus. But
very ugly, by the way.
Yeah, so they had to tough it out in Detroit. They had to tough it out tonight. Nashville, I wouldn't say it's a cakewalk, but they played well for the full 60 there. And then we all know what happened in Columbus. So good on them. And like I said, they're a game over 500. They're going to get a nice rested team tomorrow that's playing very good hockey.
Yes.
They got a lot of stars as well. Nico Heischer's off to a fantastic start there with the Devils. They got, the talented Jack Hughes. So it's going to be a fun game, Tom. I'm excited to see how the Oilers respond because, when they start feeling really good about themselves.
A little Barry Horowitz, Jack Michaels, pat on the back.
But if they can, if they win tomorrow, then I think we can officially say they're finding their groove again. Because that's a big game to win.
If they could pull it. They have a couple big ones coming up here, Monday and Wednesday. Golden Knights in town Wednesday night. Absolutely. True test. Trending in the right direction, putting it together, and we'll see how they do tomorrow night. Let's get to more texts. We're going to get to the player of the game as well. Keep those texts coming in, 780-218-9999. If you're listening on iHeartRadio, TuneIn Radio, of course, Apple Music and EdmontonSportsTalk.com's audio player. And then if you're watching on YouTube, get in the nasty chat. Talk amongst yourselves. You can also text in, too. Hit that thumbs up button. We appreciate it. We've got a little bit more time here on the GCL Diesel post-game show. Go to Mike in Thunder Bay. Mike in Thunder Bay staying up. Mike in Thunder Bay says, the good 2-game win streak. You defeated in November. Power play got a goal. Or undefeated in November, pardon me. I'm reading it verbatim on the text line. Power play goal. Leon is awake. Oilers in playoff spot. The bad. The PK. Yeah, it's smelly. I'm with you, Mike. It stinks. Shaggy in St. Albert. Shaggy sets the bar high, as we know. Shaggy in St. Albert texts in and says, Oilers get 2 goals at start of game, then try to coast the rest of the way. Flames, who work hard all the time, took over the rest of the game. Oilers still look sloppy, had issues getting out of their zone. If the Oilers could catch the blue-collar work ethic bug that the Flames have, special teams survived in the third, like the Oilers, but special teams still putrid. Great use of putrid. Shaggy wraps it up with ugly last 2 minutes on the Oilers power play. Looked like Flames had the power play. I agree. I was having that same thought too, Shaggy. And another 20-minute effort, but an ugly win is a win. The team is still sloppy, lazy compared to the Flames. Flames definitely do work hard, Shaggy. I agree with you there. I do agree that Edmonton had a good 20 minutes to start the game. Flames pushed hard, had some adjustments in the second. I think the Oilers bounced back decently in the third, and it was anyone's game. They got the goal on the power play off a rush, but it's still a power play marker, and PK smells, but... we definitely all agree on that. That is the consensus on the penalty kill.
And that's what you're seeing from a veteran team that I mean, not based off their start, but they know they can play in these close games. They don't get too high, too down. And then just a brilliant goal. Like the play Ekholm did, not to kind of circle back, kind of find Draisaitl right away, and then boom, boom, boom is behind. It's in the net. So a team that was able to close it out. I know there were some scary moments here and there, but this is a team that should be more than comfortable in these games.
I would think so. They were pretty good in tight games last year. It took some time to get to that point. I do recall. And Cass was talking about earlier the PK and the struggles in the D zone. And I was going to jump in and be like, hey, I'm getting deja vu here. This feels like exactly 1 year ago, but I let it go. I didn't say it, but I'm bringing it up now because Shaggy's text reminded me of that. But
is San Jose the loss last year? Was it their 12th game?
Yeah, because that brought their record to 2-9-1. That was like the nail in the coffin for Woodcroft and Manson. They stayed on for that next game in Seattle to wrap up the road trip. They won that one, and then fired the next day, or the day or two later.
Yeah, because they played Seattle on the Saturday.
Yeah,
won that game, and then Sunday.
We had to be at the rink on Sunday for the announcement.
And then you guys jumped on to do like a special, right?
Yeah,
or Maddie and them did.
Yeah, we all did. It was a fun day, but for the wrong reasons, you know.
Yeah, and it was it was a name that no one had really mentioned outside of one media member here, but like,
well, that one media member has been talking about Chris Knobloch for a decade plus.
You know, he played at the U of A, right?
What? Are you serious?
This one from let's go here, Chris. Great show tonight, guys. Love to hear some positive post games after a hard-fought wins for the Oilers. Looking forward to more shows like this. You guys are the place I go for post game analysis because no one does it better. Have a great night. Thank you,
Chris,
so much for that. And yeah, of course, like, I mean, when they lose, it's a whole different animal here on the show. But like,
it's fun too.
It's great. It's great when they're winning and the fans are happy and they're beating up on their rivals and all that. But this week, New Jersey, Vegas, like, man.
Vancouver at the end of the week.
Like,
it's going to be a tough week.
Some big boy hockey coming up for the Oilers.
Yes. Let's see. Let's see if they found their groove. I like what, outside of the Columbus game, that's the caveat. They're putting together a nice little stretch here. So that's good. Chris, thank you for counting on us as your go-to pre- and post-game. We like our team very much. We're very lucky to have the team that we do. And we're only getting better. Namaste. Yes. All right, let's get to the Damon Bunting Remax Elite Player of the Game. Damon Bunting, you know it. He's a consistent top-producing realtor in Greater Edmonton and among Western Canadian Remax realtors. He and his team would love to help you find that right home or make the move from your current home. He's community-driven, understands what it takes to make a difference in our city, so check him out, DamonBunting.com. Visit his Instagram at Damon Bunting Real Estate. And I actually got a nice thank you card. You talk about the community aspect, and I love this. Damon very much involved in the community. Him and his brother Brad, and his Blake too, over at Action Electrical. A great family. I got a thank you card in the mail, Hernan.
Nice.
From the Robin Hood Society and Damon Bunting, the Damon Bunting annual golf tournament, raising money for the Robin Hood Society. Fantastic stuff. So they put their money where their mouth is, and Damon is
He's a beauty, man.
And an even better realtor, and that's setting the bar very high because he's a good person, good human being. All right, take it away. Player of the game.
Yeah, this one's, again, going to be easy. I am going to give some honorable mentions. Mattias Ekholm, I thought, was excellent on the night, +3. Doesn't get an assist on the power play goal, but, man, the heads-up play to keep it in the neutral zone and not circle back and kind of reset. And Stuart Skinner gets an honorable mention as well. I thought he was really, really good on the night. But it's got to go to the man leading the charge right now for the Edmonton Oilers since Connor McDavid went down. That's Leon Draisaitl. 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. He was a +2, 21-23 on ice, and 3 shots on net. He was just an absolute beast. Great to see the big German stepping up when the team needs him the most. He's going to need a few soldiers to help him out here going forward with these big games.
Yeah.
Because you know what? Okay, I'll get to it. But, the Damon Bunting player of the game is Leon Draisaitl, 3 points on the night, Tom. But, because we talked about the kind of the gauntlet they have this week, Vancouver, Vegas, New Jersey. They're going to hone in on that top line, the other teams.
Of course they will.
Because you're not getting much from, Nuge is not.
But they scored tonight. That's what I was thinking that too. And then they get the goal from Hyman.
Yes.
No,
Skinner.
Skinner, pardon me.
Skinner.
The Hyman goal was the power play goal, pardon me. They get the goal from Skinner, and I said it to you while we were watching the game, and I was like, well, that line, it'd be nice to they get the goal. And then I was like, they did score. I was talking and thinking at the same time.
It's great.
Like it's leaning a little bit, and not a lot, but it's leaning a little bit like in the right direction for that Hyman, Nugent Hopkins, Skinner line.
Yeah, I think you need more from Nuge, especially. Like, I think Hyman, Skinner have been fine.
I thought he was better tonight.
He was better
just wanna
tonight.
add that, yeah.
And then that third line's got to step it up here.
Yes.
Because if, like I said, these teams are well coached, they're top teams. They want to beat. Well, everybody wants to beat the Oilers because they're the Stanley Cup favorite.
Mm-hmm.
But you're gonna need more guys to step up here. Leon Draisaitl's not gonna be able to do it for another 3 games on that line. It's just not realistic.
Maybe he gets some help from his friends. Tomorrow night, we're going to see the Oilers speed tested. We've seen the comments, and I agree with a lot of them. This team, doesn't play quick. They don't have the burners that they did last year and the years prior. That is true. And the players have talked about it. We've reiterated it because I think there is a fair case to be made for playing quick with the puck, which the Oilers in the first 5-6 games definitely were not. They've gotten better, but there has been, like Shaggy and St. Albert has said, some sloppy play mid-game. Like, they'll go from playing crisp, smart hockey. Maybe the other team makes an adjustment. The other team maybe gets a little bit more aggressive, forces Edmonton's D a bit, and all of a sudden it's sloppy hockey, and they look slow and discombobulated. So tomorrow night, this Devils team has speed.
Mm-hmm.
They have skill. If they're all on the same page, they can burn you very quickly. This will test the Oilers and their quote-unquote team speed. And if they have it, we'll see. This, I think, will be a good barometer for all of us to tell where the Oilers are with their team speed collectively.
Oh, and for the defensemen, too. Like, this is going to be a huge, huge test. Like, they haven't had a 3-game set like this so far, Tom.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Oh, that's fair.
And not even, like, I know we're going to start off the week tomorrow, but even Calgary. Like, I know people look down on Calgary and they're not a very good team. They might not be a playoff team. No, and that's fine.
I still don't think they're that good.
And I think it's fair, but I'm saying, like, when you're playing your biggest rival, like, I always think Calgary's going to be game against the Oilers. They were tonight. Yeah, they might crap the bed against every other team, but they're going to show up. So if the Oilers can stay over 500 in this next stretch of the week, they have 3 games.
3 games this week.
3 games
4
this week.
the next, and then they have like a weird 5-day break. I don't think it's the bye week. But they have 5 days off at the end of the month.
They got to go 2-1 in these games. Like, that's the lowest they can go. They can't drop 3. They can't drop 2. They have to win at least 2 of these games. And I think everybody wants to see how this decor, how the goaltending is going to hold up, if the PK can improve in these 3 games, because you're going to be tested, man.
That PK, man. Mamma mia.
What's going on there, Tom?
It stinks. Cass said it. Like, he says the forwards at the top, the timing is off. And that was like last year, too, when it was 27th, 28th. This year, it's straight up 32nd. And by far, like, 10 points lower than pretty much everyone else ahead of them. Minimum 10 points.
We're at the point, Tom, where I think every time they have to go on the PK, we know they're going to get scored on.
Yeah.
It's almost automatic now.
Yes.
And it's sad to feel that way, but you're just like, they can't get a kill no matter what. And today, yes, like Cass broke it down well. There's a few misreads and all that, but it's a deflection goal at the tail end of it. Barry's just putting it on net. Like, there's a little bit of, luck involved in it as well.
I'll give Matt the skill, and Barry made the right play, but you got to kill these things, man. You got it.
Or just don't take penalties.
Well, they're doing a good. They're minimized. They took 2 tonight. You get scored on one of them. Oh boy! All right. If you want to get some texts in at the last second, we have a couple minutes before we wrap up the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. Edmonton 4-2 winners over Calgary. You always like to hear that from an Oilers point of view if you're a fan of the team. And Edmonton now 6-2-1 in its last 9 games into the wild card spot in the West Division standings. So I think a lot of Oil Country pretty pleased with the way things are going the last couple of weeks after a rough start where they went 0-3. X-Ray J hitting us up in the Nasty chat, says, good evening, Nasties. Tom and Hernan, nice win for the Oilers before I hop on a plane to the Dominican. Congratulations, Hernan. You won't have to listen too much about Schwartz talk from me. X-Ray J, thanks for tuning in, as always. Appreciate the text in the Nasty chat. Have a great trip in the Dominican. No socks and sandals, okay? It's going to be nice and warm down there. Enjoy your trip.
I need to go to a beach, Tom. I'm a little bit jealous.
Go to West Edmonton Mall. Old Water Park.
A real one.
Oh, okay, sorry. We don't have the one on the river is a little bit chilly right now.
Yeah.
All right. Let's see. Any other text you want to get to?
Let me take a look here.
Okay, as you do that,
yeah,
and we wind things down here, I will get everybody up to speed on out-of-town scores. There were 7 games in the NHL tonight. The Rangers beat the Islanders in the Battle of New York 5-2. I know the Islanders, there's some talk there that something's got to give. They're 4-6-2 on the year. A lot of aspirations of a playoff team again this season.
And lost Barzal.
Lost Barzal, yep, that's a good point. Tough go for the Isles. Winnipeg continues to roll. 7-4 winners over Tampa. Winnipeg 11-1 on the season, man. They are cruising. Boston 2-0 over Seattle. I know things in Boston have been a little bit rough. There's talk about Jim Montgomery. Some people speculating that his job might be on the line, but they get the win at home over the Kraken. The Carolina Hurricanes double up the Washington Capitals. Ovechkin continues his pursuit of the all-time goals record, chasing down Wayne Gretzky. I think he's within 36 now. He's the best goal scorer of all time, and will soon. I think he gets it this year. I really do. That motivation will, I think, put him over the top. Minnesota, 2-1 winners over Toronto, like you talked about a little bit earlier on, Hernan. That game in overtime. And then the other final from tonight, when you look at the West Coast, was in Anaheim, where the Blackhawks double up on the Ducks, 4-2. Same score here in the Oilers-Flames game. Edmonton getting it done down at the Saddle Dome. Hernan.
Yeah, no, we were talking. I brought up, man, it would be nice if they had a top 4 defense, and a lot of people are throwing in Cody Ceci. And
I didn't want to say, I thought it, but I was like, just leave it.
No, because he struggled a lot with. They had good moments, but they had some really tough moments. And I know our guy Cass is a big Cody Ceci guy, but for me, I mean, he's probably better than what they have right now, but you needed an upgrade anyway on that. So what I'm thinking is above Cody Ceci. Nothing against Cody Ceci.
Yes, I get it. You want the remember the upgrade we were talking about? You still want that. Everyone upgrade on Cody Ceci. Upgrade on Cody Ceci. Yes, they still want that. Still want that. I'm with you. In the Nasty chat, Deadfish says, seems to me they all are having problems passing up the ice, especially in their own zone. Deadfish, that has been an issue. Today in the first, it looked better. Second period, a little bit rougher, certainly. And then in the third, cleaned it up from the second, but not as good as the first. But it has been an issue, and I think it does affect the Oilers' team speed. It will be tested tomorrow night. James says, Calgary shows you that with will, you can beat skill. They make you work for it. James, 100% correct.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely correct statement there. I'm on board with that. Rip City Step says, Noah Philp undefeated. Yes. Thank you, Step.
So is Drake Gazzola.
Oh, yes. Return of the Drake. Winnipeg Sports Talk. What's up? How about Tony G's blowout? Now he's a hair model too. XO. Huss. Hello, Huss. Good to hear from you.
I gotta say, I was gonna mention it, but we were all talking about the game. Like, Cass is giving you a good run, man. He's got some solid hair.
He's always had great hair. Mine's
jealous.
just full of Swedish hair cream.
I'm
It's
jealous.
a mess
Mine's a mess.
Yours is good. You got a haircut. Yours was all wavy the other day. A little.
I got a haircut, but I went different. I'm trying to grow it all like kind of one length. I went away from the fades and all that. I'm too old for that, Tom. I need a grown-up
you're
haircut.
young at heart. You look good. You look good, Nancito.
Would you still allow me on the show if I had a bun, a man bun?
You do. I would do. I would have you on the show. No matter. You could have like long hair and a weird mustache. You could have you could do what the kids are doing now. You could dress like a 90s dude where they have the mustache with the crappy mullet. I'm like, and then they have the big glasses, and I'm like, girls like this look? Really? These guys look like. Anyway, whatever. Style is cyclical, but anyway, You would be on the show no matter what, buddy.
Thank you.
Phyllis says, hey, everybody. Just came in to smash the like button, say congrats on the Oilers win. And Phyllis throws out a shout out to Huss. Hello, Phyllis. Thanks for stopping by. All right. Anything else? Norman at Combine says you're never too old. And also adds Bouchard, terrible defensively, but the free agent D-man on the Flames roster had a good game. Lots of offensive chances. LOL. And I think he's alluding to Tyson Barrie. And Norm also says, Phrase had a mullet years ago. We still love him. Yes. Joel wants you to have a porn stash. Taco asking, any word on Hyman grabbing his shoulder? No. Nothing.
I think he's fine.
I think he's fine. He spoke after the game. Didn't look like he had an ice bag on his shoulder, although he could get treatment after. Nothing there, Taco, that we know about. Bumps and bruises. Hopefully he is A-okay. Final thoughts from you, Hernan?
No, looking forward to tomorrow. It's going to be a full day, 6 to 5:30, and then we'll jump on with the pregame show. We'll take a half an hour away from Reed, and then the postgame show is going to be. I'm really looking forward to seeing this New Jersey team, Tom.
So am I.
And I want to see how the Oilers handle, like you said, their speed. So it's going to be a fun one on a Monday night. Amazon Prime, people. Get your accounts.
Yes.
Get your accounts.
What is it, $13.99? I don't know. It keeps going up. It's just I get billed every month. Oh, yeah. But same day delivery, next day delivery. Yeah. And then sometimes it ends up being an extra day, which is a total piss off. But we get a game on there tomorrow.
Someone's got to connect here.
I'll connect mine. It's all right. All right. That's going to do it for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream post-game show. The Oilers 4-2 winners over the Calgary Flames. Give the Oilers a 3-1 record on that 4-game road trip. Pretty damn good. What happened in Columbus on Monday? I know. They will look to make it 3 straight victories when they welcome in the New Jersey Devils to Rogers Place tomorrow night, 6:30 puck drop. We're on the air for the GCL Diesel Oil Stream pregame show at 5:30 for the Latino Heat, Hernan Salas and Matt Kassian. I'm Tom Gazzola saying thank you as always for watching and listening. Hit that thumbs up button on your way out. Have a great night, everybody. Ciao now.